This is Boromina, a land once whole, now divided by primordial conflicts dating back thousands of years. Its four nations have been coexisting in a fragile peace for centuries. But can they truly stand alone when ancient threats come back to haunt them? From the sand dunes and scattered oases of Luxoria to the tropical fade jungles and scenic coastline of Honhop, the rolling green hills and towering cliffside peninsula of Maidea, to the stormy mountains and etheric wasteland of Perian. An alchemist, an acolyte, a knight, and an abolitionist must work together to preserve the world as they know it. These are the lands that make us.
As you're riding up to the entrance, you both hear a large "Roar!" as a huge bear begins to run directly out of the cave. I need you both to roll me initiative.
Oh, you have charged towards it.
Oh dear. That's not good. I rolled a 1 for initiative.
You're kidding me.
This massive bear has golden ears at the top, and it is larger than any other bear you've seen. You can feel as it begins running, there is heat coming from its den.
I'm guessing Francis and I are too far away to hear the bear roar?
I think you hear the bear roar. They only made it like a good 150 feet away from the temple, just through the tree line. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to put the other folks off to the right here and add them to the initiative order if they would like to begin heading the way of the bear.
I feel like if they were able to hear the bear roar coming from the direction, Francis would turn to Inara and be like, "You think they can handle it, or should we go help?"
Maybe we should just check on them.
It's like, okay. And then very nonchalantly just like pick up his mace and shield and just start walking towards the path through the thicket that Plato blazed.
Inara will follow Francis through the forest.
Perfect. Will you both throw me some initiative?
The 3 on the die.
Not good. 14 for a 16.
The bear beat me.
All right, Francis, you're up first as you and Inara begin to run to the scene. I'm guessing you probably using your action to dash, or was there anything else you wanted to do?
No, he just dash.
Sounds good. Yeah, you move 60 feet closer, just another 60 feet, and you can fully see the scene before you. You see the trampled roots before you, easily tracing the route of this wild horse that Plato is currently on top of. All right. Yeah, next turn you can definitely, with your movement, get within 30 feet. Which brings us to the bear, who's going to use their movement to move a little bit further. They are then going to hold their action as the bear stands up to its full height, kind of spreading its arms wide, its claws ready, kind of trying to obscure the entirety of the cave behind it as it roars out, holding its action, maintaining a defensive position. Plato, that's your go.
All right, interesting. It has not attacked. Well, that being the case, how much control do I have over my horse, which I am not expert at maneuvering?
It's underneath you. It doesn't like that there's a bear there. I would say if you were trying to maneuver the horse away from the bear, you could do so with ease. If you're trying to run the horse towards the bear, that's going to take some convincing.
No, that's not exactly what I want to do. I want to head the horse over towards where I came from in the brush, sort of trying to head back towards Francis and Inara, and I will be yelling, there's a bear! A bear! And I will also hold my action, so I want to use I want to hold the spell Dissonant Whispers. So I will move 5, 10, just assuming I cannot make my horse run exactly.
I mean, the horse's base movement is 60, so you actually end up getting into Francis's view here as Francis sees you through the trampled roots along the cliffside here. You just barely are able to get into Francis' full line of view as you yell
Barely.
that.
Yes, that's what I'm feeling when I see it. I point back and I'm like, a bear is back there. And I want to hold Dissonant Whispers so that if it attacks Sherrilyn straight out, I will cast Dissonant Whispers.
Sounds good. And just to establish, this will burn the spell slot if it doesn't go off.
That's fine. I can always metabolize my points if I have to.
Francis seen Plato through the thick, kind of like shout out to Plato. Is Sherrilyn still with you?
Back there with the bear.
And you left her.
I am not bear-proof.
Neither is she.
Inara will interject and be like, honestly, I'm a little worried about the bear. Remembering the owl from last night.
Let's just go.
Let's definitely go help her.
Yeah, Inara, it's your go.
Okay, can she get as close as she can? So that's 30 feet.
Yeah, you're about 30 feet behind Francis. You see past Francis, Plato, just kind of edge of the forest here at the beginning of this clearing. You heard the bear noise come from.
Okay, so Inara will run forward her full movement, 30 feet, and land about here. Sorry. There we go.
I just want to say both this bear, the type of bear this is, and everything that Sherrilyn became are all indigenous to volcanic forest environments. I don't know why I cared.
So what type of bear is it?
It is a...
Gold bear?
Yeah, I'll share a picture of what a real one looks like. They're Kamchatka bears, Kamchatka brown bears.
Isn't this forest filled with spirits or something? I never got a straight answer from Sherrilyn exactly. She was so, it's full of cannibals or whatever.
So far, all we found is a temple and some golden animals that we keep fucking with.
So far, the forest is doing nothing but prove my point.
The forest gave us shelter.
Maybe we should discuss this after. She says, and she will do the same thing and just chase after him.
Absolutely. You chase after Francis. You use your dash action to close the additional 60 feet. You see Plato just 30 feet in front of it in the clear way to this large opening.
Sort of wheeling the horse around kind of nervously.
You're still on the horse?
I'm still on the horse. I don't want a wild horse and also myself behind it or something. I'll get kicked.
He was listening.
All right, that brings us to Harkin and Sherrilyn, who, since you guys are in the same initiative, you can share your turn if you so desire.
Yes. The bear is still on its back legs, looking quite menacing right now. Harkin, firstly, would rear in reaction. He's startled by the appearance of the bear that we nearly ran directly into, even as a practice creature of war. Does it take what sort of action would it take for me to equip my shield here?
I think Red has written it's an action to equip a shield, to don and doff a shield.
She will take up her shield in her other hand on her other arm, and as a bonus action, she's going to cast Divine Favor on herself. To the party, it would appear that she lifts her sword high and a light sort of swirls and imbues the weapon. And as she does so, she would dig her heels into the horse and he would charge the bear directly.
Yeah, with that, as you charge forth, the bear is going to try and bring Mighty Paw down upon Sherrilyn's chest. Sherrilyn, coming into perspective as you charge this horse, kind of hiding right on the interior of the cave, you see them kind of nervously peeking out. 2 bear cubs kind of hiding behind this other larger bear and deeper into the cave.
Knew it. Right when he said a bear coming out of a cave, I knew it.
So I think then my held action will go off, but I don't know that it will actually. Oh no, it would be unless they have broken eyesight. If I cannot see anymore, that might be the case.
You're at a higher point, so you can definitely see down. If they're still in range for distant whispers, it definitely goes off.
Yeah, I think so. It would have to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Sounds good. All right. That's going to be an 11 Plus 2 for 13.
As that will pass, I believe mine is still 12. Yes. So unfortunately, just the damage, it will not move away from me, I don't believe.
Right, and because it held its action, it only gets one of its attacks, not its full multi-attack. It just gets the one claw attack. You can go ahead and roll me that damage.
4, 1, and 3. So 8.
And then is that halved? Or
Oh, yeah, that'd be halved.
So four psychic damage?
Yes, it'd be psychic damage.
But yeah, as the bear kind of feels it reverberating the whispers in its head. What does that sound like?
So it is the sound of let me see, it says a verbal component. So you hear from where I am, you hear me whispering and murmuring, and the bear hears like the hushing and running of water and the clanking of pipes and metal constructions.
Oh yeah, Sherrilyn, that's a 15 to hit.
It does not hit. As it brings down the paw upon her, she lifts up the shield, and though the blow is heavy, it slides off the metal of the surface.
Yeah, that's the bear's reaction. With that, Sherrilyn, it's left itself wide open as you and Harkin charge towards it.
I think the horse did not take an action, so I believe as they draw close, he would try yet again to rear back and kick it in the face. Ooh, a 21 to hit.
That definitely hits as the hoofs make contact with the lower part of the standing bear, who's currently trying to make itself as intimidating as possible, but failing to do so in the vision of this horse.
8 bludgeoning damage. The hooves aimed directly for the creature's face. They're a bit sharp, so it not only is it bruising, but it kind of hooks into its fur and scratches down the side of its cheek.
I love it. All right, with that, it brings us to Francis. Francis, you can use your movement to get fully in view of the fight here, if you would like.
So 30 feet would put me where Plato is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he would just use the 30 feet of movement to kind of stand beside Plato, wary of the fact that he is still on a not listening horse.
It's fine. I think I've got it.
You don't look like you have it.
Well, it's getting there.
And he would kind of take a moment to survey what's going on down in the actual cave entrance and see Sherrilyn and Harkin facing off against his bear, and then can we see the cubs from here?
From your angle, no.
Okay.
The bear is just barely obscuring it.
Gotcha.
If you would like to use your turn to try and get a closer look, you can use an action to do a perception check, like an active perception check, and see if you can make out what's fully going on here.
Yeah, he's gonna try and see what's going on, what is behind this big bear in front of the cave.
I love it. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
It's going to be 16.
16, yeah. With the 16, you see clearly behind this large bear as it kind of falls down to its front legs in response to the blow from Harkin. And you see 2 young bear cubs kind of slowly crawling out of the cave in the same direction. Behind it, there does seem to be some other items in the cave. But behind the cubs, nothing else seems to be living or moving, but there's definitely a leather case or something else that you spot kind of behind where the cubs are crawling forth from.
Then Francis is going to shout out to Sherrilyn. Maybe you should get away from the mama's cubs.
And maybe you should back away so that I can disengage.
I'm not in your way. And with that will be his turn.
That brings us to Mama Bear, who is going to begin her round of multi-attacks, starting with a bite attack against Harkin the horse, as she falls to all 4 of her legs and swings her giant head back towards the neck of this horse, trying to find a blow. That is going to be a 17 to hit.
That hits.
The massive bear's maw wraps around Harkin's neck and locks itself down as Harkin is grappled and is going to take 16 points.
Ooh. As it grabs onto the horse's neck, there's a sickening crunch sound, and his eyes roll back and the horse collapses underneath her. She's careful to shift herself in the saddle so that her leg isn't crushed as the horse falls, and she rolls off of his back beside him.
He's going to be making death saving throws. As the bear kind of spits the horse's neck from his mouth, she brings down the full might of both of her claws against Sherrilyn's shield. That's going to be a natural 20 and a 24.
Those both hit.
Right, well, this is awful, but I will undo the 20.
You can do that as a sorcerer?
Silver barbs.
Silver barbs. What's the range on that?
60 feet.
But yeah, you're definitely within range. As you watch the bear kind of, with its first claw attack, get under the shield and go right for the chest. You use your reaction?
Yes, I use my reaction, and we see again sort of there's like a nervous system within his arm that lights up, and he sort of looks through it at where Sherrilyn is hit, and the image fractures within his hand, and we go into the reality where she is not hit.
Does a 17 hit instead?
Does not hit.
Hell yeah. As in this reality, Sherrilyn's shield holds steady, taking the full impact of the blow. Just the second claw attack that is able to find its way underneath this first flurry is able to land. And Sherrilyn, you are going to be taking, I rolled really low, that's going to be 5 points of slashing damage as the claw comes across your chest.
I have to assign someone. I always forget the second part of this.
Give someone advantage. Who do you like to give advantage to?
I guess advantage doesn't work because I can't give it to the horse. I'll give it to Inara. She is coming up next.
But you could give it to the horse for its death saving throws.
Could I?
Yeah, it's advantage on a
yeah,
D20.
I will use the magic. I don't know exactly how the advantage looks. I guess the sort of within the same image and the fractured image, like lower on it, the horse feeling better. I don't know.
Hell yeah. As you kind of tie those threads of fate around Harkin, that brings us to you, Plato.
All right. This has gotten nasty. I will try one more time. Well, first, I can use, since I have my points, can I use my bonus action to do it?
Yeah, I think you can do that now.
Technically, I don't have meta magic.
It's not a meta magic.
3rd level.
Yeah, but it's not a meta magic. You have 2 sorcery points, flexible casting, as a bonus action on your turn.
Excellent, thank you. So I will use that to get back my 1 spell slot, and then I will try casting Dissonant Whispers again.
Sounds good, yeah. That's a wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Okay, that's a 9 total.
So that does fail. It will be taking the full 3d6. So it will take 13 points of damage, and then it must immediately move as far as its speed allows away from me.
Absolutely. It has quite fast speed here as it uses its reaction to run back into the cave. It's kind of only egress from your direction, kind of blowing past its own cubs in response to the whispers that are formed within its own mind here. Sherrilyn, it's because this is forced movement, it doesn't open an attack of opportunity as it's such a sudden burst of running away. But the bear does in fact use its full movement to run past the cubs back into the cave front, fully exposing the cubs now to everybody that's viewing the cave entryway. Hell yeah, what a turn. That brings us to Inara. Inara, you're only 30 feet away from Francis and Plato's position.
How's the horse looking?
He's down, unconscious.
He's still unconscious? Okay, she's just gonna, now that the bear has disengaged, she's gonna yell out to Sherrilyn, "Stop attacking the animals!" And will dash towards the horse, trying to get as close as possible to hopefully help it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you using your action? So you use your movement 30 feet to close.
I'll use, so Inara will use her 30 feet and then dash for her action as well. Where does that get me? 30 and then... Yeah, that's... Okay, so I guess that's it for her.
Brings us to Harkin the horse. Harkin, go ahead and make a death saving throw at advantage.
Okay.
What do we say to death? Today we say nay.
Okay, 13.
Was that at advantage?
Yes.
13 is a success.
Okay. And Inara, as you shout out running closer to where they have fallen at the mouth of this cave, you can see the bewildered expression on the knight's face. She probably has never fought a creature like a bear before, and had no idea what to expect out of this encounter that she's surprisingly a part of now. So she will, more concerned about her horse that is now bleeding out on the ground beside her, roll over to him and brush his mane aside to look at the bite wounds that are punctured into his neck, without a care placing her hands in the blood. And she's going to use all 5 points of lay on hands on him.
Yeah. What does this look like as you magically seal these wounds and bring Harkin back to life?
She's muttering to herself, come on, buddy. And she presses both down like you would press down on someone's chest when you're doing CPR. And there's a faint glowing, it kind of flickers to life. Like she doesn't call on this power often, or perhaps hasn't before. But it does start to shine through, and it's almost like a quick flash as it goes off, and the wounds begin to close.
I love it. Yeah. You can take inspiration as Harkin breathes another breath and begins to rise back to life. Any bonus action or movement?
Well, she's going to stand up from where she fell, next to the horse, and she'll stand between him and this bear that is currently running back into the cave, and hopefully, with the intention of protecting him if the bear decides to start coming back.
Yeah, with that, we're to Francis. And Francis, you heard Inara say that the bear disengaged, but as you observe the bear, it finishes its full sprint back to the edge of the cave. It turns back around, and it looks way more pissed than it did before. It is your go. What would you like to do?
That's always great. Well, seeing that this will not resolve just into the wind, Francis is going to run up to the edge of this little cliff and ledge, and then seeing that the bear is going to make a run back out, he's going to prepare a sacred flame if the bear charges back out towards Sherrilyn or Harkin.
Yeah, absolutely. Any bonus action or further movement?
I know that's as far as he can go.
All right, with that, the bear charges back out towards Sherrilyn. Sacred Flame goes off. That's a dexterity saving throw?
That is.
All right, that's going to be a 9.
That does not succeed.
So he will be taking the damage.
8 radiant.
Oh yeah. The bear is a little bit blinded from the impact of this holy light that you cast down upon it as it charges back out, reaching Sherrilyn with its full movement. The bear finishes its momentous dash across the cave that it calls home once again, passing by its cubs, preparing for flurry of blows against Sherrilyn. It leads with its bite. It's trying to wrap its mighty jaw around Sherilyn's shoulder. Oh, that's going to be a 17.
It does not hit. Standing firm, her legs slightly spread shoulder width, she again raises the shield and deflects the hit.
Amazing. Sherrilyn stands strong. That is going to be for its claws attacks as it brings both of them down, trying to just find a weakness against this shield. That is going to be a 22 and a 15.
The 22 will hit.
Just the first claw attack is able to find before you reposition and block it again with the shield. As the claw goes down against your armor, you take so much extra damage if both these claws are hit. You're getting so lucky here. As it gets brought down against your armor, you're going to be taking a total of 11 points of slashing damage as these claws find purchase.
This one, again, managing after the shield is knocked down and wide, the claws come in and they scrape her straight down the front, nicking the skin beneath the chainmail at her shoulder very painfully. Blood is pouring from the wound and she staggers.
With that is the bear's full turn as it again tries to go to this full height, protecting its cubs. And that brings us to Plato's turn. Plato, the bear, just landed a pretty big hit against Sherrilyn. Sherilyn's bleeding and it's not unconscious, but is looking rough, standing in front of the bear at the mouth of the cave, protecting her horse, who's now just slowly recovered and is reaching its full height. What do you do?
I want to do the one. So the one I can Um, I guess. And how is the bear looking?
The bear's looking pretty healthy
The bear is
comparatively.
perfectly fine.
The bear's hurt. Like, you can definitely see some wounds starting to emerge on its body. The heavy bruising where Harkin's kicks landed and scrapes against its face as you see the damage wearing on it. But this is a large animal, the largest bear you've ever seen for sure. And it is motivated by the cubs behind it.
Phil, I will run up next to Francis. I will look at the bear. This is an insane thing to do. I will use my bonus action. I don't even know if this will work, but it is something I can do. It says creatures that I can see, and I don't know what it means to speak telepathically to a thing. So I will try the only thing I can think of, which is that I will run up next to Francis and I will use my I will use my bonus action, since I have been within 30 feet, to try and speak telepathically to this bear. And instead of trying to fall on the mercy of the bear, I will instead, and this is so frightening, but I will instead try and appeal to the bear rationally and a bit intimidatingly, because I will say to the bear, if you do this, if you fight us to the end, who will protect your young? Let us leave. We mean only to leave. And then I will hold a ray of frost action for if the bear will not listen.
Bear does not speak common.
I know, it says telepathically. I don't know what you want me to say.
I think you do still speak a language when you speak telepathically. I think speak implies language.
Can I, if I say that I aim the ray of frost at the bear, can I try it with that then? I feel like the purpose of intimidation might get across.
Yes, like, yeah, if you're or even like, like waving your hands around, if there's some sort of body language attached to this, I will definitely allow an intimidate roll, even separate from this podcast.
Yes. So first off, my voice is occurring in its brain, so I don't know how it will find that, whether it will find that frightening or not.
Probably not great, but I just mean you just need to communicate the
okay,
the
fine.
message.
It can't understand common. I am still making the appeal, and then yes, I will threateningly aim a held spell, a ray of frost spell, at one of the babies, and I will sort of
At one of the babies.
Well, no, I guess at her, since I don't need, since it will it's getting the point, right? I'm not trying. See, I'm trying to see if it will get the point of intimidation without that. I'm guessing as long as my brain, as long as my voice is in its brain, you said it finds that strange, right? The voice in the brain.
I'm sure it would probably find a voice speaking to it strange, but you're not like a bearologist. Do you know what I mean?
I think I will just try and rely on that and a frightening body language. You know what? I'll try and repeat the body language the bear did. I will try and make myself taller on the horse. Yes, I will try and stand up taller on the horse and sort of make myself big to try and see if I can scare it away. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, no, I take this. Go ahead and give me an intimidation check.
All right. I will still hold my my attack action, since unless you want this to be an action. I would say it's a...
I think just given the amount you get for it, if it succeeds, it would be unfair for it to not be an action.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I have to do intimidation because that's the one that I'm good at. 17 plus 4.
Yeah. As you kind of draw this bear's attention with your movements, making yourself big, and as you're making eye contact, you speak to it directly in its brain. And it doesn't fully understand the entirety of what you're saying, but what it does do in response is kind of back off a little bit. It doesn't back out of Sherrilyn's range, but it kind of like, it was mid-attacking, and as it turns to you, it kind of like puts its paws down and waits to see what you all are going to do next.
I'm looking over at Sherrilyn.
As it kind of like breathes loudly and eyes you all over.
Blood is like dripping down, like seeping past her hand, and she tries to stifle this wound, and she gives you a wary, quizzical look over her shoulder. Like, what on earth?
They find me unnatural. Move away from the bear.
That's Inara's turn.
Okay, following Plato's lead, Inara is actually going to, like, crouch a little bit, make herself smaller as she continues to approach them. She's also going to move slowly, no sudden movements to scare the bear. And am I close enough to get to Sherrilyn now with my movement? Yes. Yes? Yes.
Yeah, you are. 30 feet gets you right behind Sherrilyn and out of the
Yeah.
range of the bear.
So, keeping a low profile so as not to in any way seem to be intimidating the bear the way Plato was, Inara will crouch down and crawl towards Sherrilyn and taking a salve out of her bag, she'll start to quickly applying it onto her chest where she was scratched as she casts Cure Wounds.
Hell yeah. Roll me that healing.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I am not often one to complain of my wounds, but this stings.
That's what you get for approaching a bear's cave.
Hadn't the slightest what this creature is.
Yeah, clearly we need to
You've what?
give you a lesson.
Did she say she did not know what the bear was? Is that what she just said?
And you don't know how to ride a horse. Clearly we are not equipped for this.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Keep it together. Keep it together.
9 HP, so you regain 9 hit points.
All right. With that, it is Sherrilyn and Harkin's turn.
You see the blood stem, and she replaces her armor where it should be. This bear, now down on all fours, still kind of lumbering in front of her. She picks herself back up, renewing her grip on her sword. After proclaiming she has no idea what a bear is, would then say loudly so that everyone in this canyon-esque area can hear, "And what shall I do with this? Shall we leave? Or shall we slay it?
Back here.
I do not know if it will let me leave," she says, looking in the bear's eyes.
Inara will gesture for you to, get low the way she is. Just do not intimidate the creature. She's gonna stop saying the word bear. Clearly it means nothing to Sherrilyn.
I'm afraid it's quite impossible to make a point of myself, she says, taking one shuffle away just to see what the reaction of the bear would be.
Roll me an animal handling check as you try to make yourself low and unintimidating as you try to back off this one.
17.
Yeah, you follow Inara's example and make yourself kind of small and just slip away out of the attack range of the bear. It stays sturdy where it is, kind of eyeing over Plato. Its eye contact shifting from Plato back to you, back to Plato, back to you. It does not make a swipe as you back off.
In that case, she's going to spend most of her turn then helping Harkin get up, and then she won't remount him right now, not after suffering an injury like that, but then trying to walk him away from the bear.
Yeah, he uses half his movement to get up from prone, so I think he can move another 30 feet this turn.
Perfect, because that's how far I can move on foot.
Love it. As you both kind of back away from the cave entryway. Inara, the bear's massive head turns to face you as the closest person to the cave. With that is Francis. That's your turn.
Yeah, Francis is going to look at Plato being all big and scary atop of the horse. Clearly not knowing what he's doing.
I mean, actually, I think the being on the horse still not good, but he is an intimidating man.
Yeah. But he is kind of going to also, well, first gonna look up at players are you okay? Can you just keep it occupied?
I think it is willing to let us go, but I cannot stand on this horse for much longer.
Okay, and then he is just gonna start backpedaling down the hill he came from. So use action to dash to then close the distance to Sherrilyn and Harkin.
Hell yeah.
Sherrilyn, how are you and Harkin feeling?
It's plain to see why Sherrilyn has not remounted the horse. He's lost a lot of blood. He's very shaken. Every step he's taking, his legs are trembling. She herself looks more renewed for Inara's healing touch. Not quite 100% herself. Looking a bit wary of this creature in front of her, very confused about how they are handling it.
Okay. In that case, that'll be the end of my turn for now.
That brings us to the bear, who's going to use its turn to take a 10 feet step back into the cave, right in front of its cubs, and it will hold in action, and it will end its turn. Plato, that is your go.
I look down at Inara. You're good? You're going to get away from it? Excellent. In my mind, since I still am psychically connected to the bear, I say, thank you for listening to a rational sort of approach to this situation.
You're still trying to talk to the bear.
Sorry that we stumbled across. As far as he knows, it worked. The rational thing worked. We are sorry to have stumbled across your very interesting cave, and we will leave post haste. And to show that, like, sort of pushing, I make myself smaller in the saddle, and I head back down to where. What is it? 40-foot horse distance?
I think it's 60.
I'll take 60.
Yeah. All right. With that, that brings us to Inara. Inara, you're still just 10 feet in front of this bear as it kind of backs off into the front of the cave. You get a good view in the cave. There is other shit in there. You see a leather case as well as like a collection of roughwear supplies kind of near the back of the cave, as well as like half-eaten fish bones and other bear delights.
She's going to maintain her crouched posture and back away slowly from the bear, but definitely she will make note of the items in there, and will, once she rejoins the group and is sure that the bear isn't following them.
Yeah, we'll leave initiative as you back away, and the cave kind of the bear kind of retreats back into a little bit of the darkness of the cave, bringing its cubs back from the front. An uneasy alliance.
So, yeah, once back, Inara will first turn to Sherrilyn and be like, "Are you okay?"
She's panting. She looks a little bit paler. She is meticulously checking over the horse's neck and the wound that's on it and saying, not my proudest moment, I'll admit.
Inara will be like, "It's okay. It could have happened to any of us. We are in a forest where wild animals live. Remind me to go over a list of the bad ones and dangerous ones with you on our trip, especially ones that can be found in the desert. Because if you're not familiar with a bear, then you are in for a rude awakening."
Plato rides up alongside and he says, here is some basic advice. If it's brown, you lay down. If it's black, you fight back. I think if it's white, you're just dead.
Inara literally stops in the middle of her sentence and just stares at him and goes, "How have you survived this long?"
She meets Plato's gaze and says, I think we're even.
Of course. And for the first time, actually, Sherrilyn, I agree with you. We need to leave the forest.
Well, before we do, I know we have a very uneasy alliance with the bear right now, but there are some very interesting items in there. I found a leather bag and such. If we could potentially lure the bear and her cubs out,
You're kidding me.
we might find. She turns to Sherrilyn and goes, "Another fun fact about bears: they like berries.
I've only just...
We've already proven to the bear that we mean it and its cubs no harm. If we were to get a basket of berries and place it out by the entrance of the cave, or maybe a trail of berries."
Immediately squander that trust? I don't think that the stuff in there is probably just stuff from other people it's killed, and I don't want any part of that.
My lady, might I remind you, you are not the recipient of the wounds that are upon my body, but I fear that if you approach the bear in any fashion, you may find yourself on the receiving end of those vicious claws.
Appreciate your concern, and I agree, but we are about to make a very dangerous journey. We need as much supplies as we can get. Fruit and crackers is not going to cut it across the Luxorian desert.
And who is to say that that leather pack has what we need to get across the desert? It could just be someone's junk that the bear just came into possession of after having a mid-meal snack.
How far into the cave are these items?
They were just past the entrance, if I could see them.
They were like past the cubs. Previous positioning. You'd have to definitely go into the cave.
A suggestion? An alternative?
Go ahead.
We do not need to bear bait before we go into this.
No, nothing about baiting the, as you call it, a bear.
That's what it is called.
However, does anyone have more rope?
I do. What are you thinking?
She holds out her hand for it.
I would like to know what you are going to do with this rope before I give it to you.
You don't have horses in Hunhup, do you?
We have oxen.
Okay, and how do you capture an oxen?
With a lasso.
Exactly.
Well,
You
honey,
Gonna lasso a bear? No.
No, not the bear.
Oh.
The items in question.
No, this is a waste of time.
You flattered me with your opinion on my bravery. No, I was suggesting lassoing the material, which they clearly do not care much for.
Did we not just learn this lesson? Look, this is not. If maybe if one of us could turn invisible and sneak up, that is one thing. But we have just shown that we are not a good match for the bear, sort of, in a building block way. And in fact, Sherrilyn, I can't believe that Inara's curiosity is getting the best of you in this way. Like, let's go to Luxoria. Come on, right to Luxoria. Let's get. Can't wait to see that.
We are in agreement, Mr. Ardavian. However, Lady Inara does bring up the excellent point that the desert is quite large and we might find ourselves without adequate rations to cross it. So if there is a chance there is something in there worth taking,
She's
and we are
guaranteed
about to
that she can bring us
exit
across
the
the desert.
forest.
Inara will pipe up. Can I at least try the berry idea? If it works and the bear comes out, then maybe we could just lasso the bag.
If it doesn't work, I have less few spell slots.
Perhaps we do both?
If it doesn't work, we won't. We personally will not approach the cave. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
We are squandering time. People have been kidnapped. We are playing with bears that have almost just killed us. This is not worth it. Fine.
Yeah, as soon as you say fine. Yeah, as soon as you say fine, she's done arguing. She doesn't care if you actually agree or not. All she needs is that fine.
We will lose more time if we find ourselves emaciated in the center of a desert, Mr. Ardavian.
I will not assist you with anything this irrational.
Inara has already run off. Inara's run off and is gathering berries right now.
I'll keep an eye on the cave mouth.
Yeah, you know where the berry grove is. It's not too far from here, just a few hundred feet. And you return there and pick a bushel of berries and return.
Inara is off picking berries. Francis is going to very slowly walk up to Harkin and taking his bows around, place it on the horse's neck. He is going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Y'all, it's 10 o'clock in the morning.
That's what I was saying.
Right now,
Those ones don't come back on short rest. But the horse health is important. The horse health is important. It is important. You only have the 2 horses. So.
And he regains 8 health.
Wait, could we just take a short rest instead of using that spell slot while one of us is collecting berries?
Yeah. I mean, the berry collection probably won't take a full hour, but you can definitely begin the process of taking a short rest outside this cave entrance. I say as you do so, the noise hadn't been present prior because of obviously all the action happening. But as you all are relaxing and kind of enjoying the sound of the wind, you hear on the other side of this cave, this hill that the cave is built into, the sounds of running water, like a waterfall.
The horse is back up to full HP, thank you.
Amazing.
And you said like the water's coming from on the other side of the mountain or the cave?
Yeah, you can on this like hill, you can hear a waterfall coming from the other side. Yeah, you can hear like rushing water coming. Like if you wanted to walk around the hill during this short rest, I would allow it.
Yes, I think I will do that. That's better than helping out with this ridiculous thing that I don't try to do.
Francis would look at Sherrilyn and then be like, you're not gonna poke the bear anymore, are you?
Not going to poke the bear.
I'll teach her all about bears.
Francis would kind of like reach his hand down to Sherrilyn's like, give me a water skin. I'm gonna go refill these before we hit the road again.
She'll unclip hers from the horse and hand it to him, and as she does so, ask for the rope.
He will like give her like a are you sure look.
I will again reiterate, I am sure. Please hand me the rope so I may fashion a lasso.
He will hesitantly reach into his pack and give her the 50 feet of hempen rope.
Say what you will about me, Sir Thon, but the only misfortune has befallen upon me thus far. So there is no risk to your personal well-being.
Who said I was concerned about my own?
Touching.
And with that, and a small smile, he will join Plato heading towards the water.
Plato, you get to the other side first of this hill, and you see this tiered series of small waterfalls entering these pools, and you can feel the heat coming off of the water. This is a naturally occurring hot springs.
Oh, this is excellent. Well, I know water quite well, especially water with perhaps quite high acidic and sulfurous content. Can I tell with maybe a nature check or something if this is safe to bathe in?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll me a nature check.
Nature check. Nature check. If I remember correctly, I have some int. So that is a 16 plus 2. 18.
As you take in the sight, your eyes kind of stretch across the forest line to the volcano. And as you see the water running, you think that the heat is definitely coming from that natural feature. And this water is rich in minerals, and you see some animals drinking from it. Although it is warm, it is definitely safe.
Excellent. Well, I will fill up my water skin, and then I will strip off my shirt and down to, I guess, my underwear, and I will just slip into the pool, and I will keep an ear out for whatever terrible shenanigans take place nearby, sort of in a very pointed way, trying not to take part in their ridiculousness.
Francis will kneel beside Plato, only taking off his shoes really to dip him into the water as he's filling in the his and Sherrilyn's wireskins. Like, do you really think that plan is gonna work?
No, I very specifically do not, and I said that over and over to them. But sometimes they are going to be wrong. I've learned this about people. They are wrong often. And sometimes they cannot be told this. They must find it out for themselves.
So you just always see things in black and white of this is right, this is not right, rational, irrational.
I wouldn't say so. I think that there are some things that make sense, and they work for the greater good. And those things often make themselves apparent.
It's hot. As you submerge yourself deeper into it, it is hotter than you expected on first glance as you get deeper and deeper into the water.
This is quite warm, though.
Yeah, Francis is kind of just like watching Plato just steam himself in the river, like, and he'll dip his fingers in to kind of like get a better like feel of what the water temperature actually is. And he's like, "You sure you want to be in this?"
Honestly, no. See, this is a situation where I can admit I am wrong. And I stand up and I sort of shake myself off and kind of flap my hands to like, there's like steam coming off of his body.
I don't want you to lose your arm.
Don't worry, it is fine.
All right. How are these berries being presented to these bears?
Well, first she's going to crush some of them to make the scent, I guess, stronger and hopefully lure at least the cubs out. And then the mama maybe will follow. And without getting close to the cave entrance, Inara is going to sort of leave a trail of berries leading to a large pile.
And now roll me a perception check as you approach the entrance again, kind of crushing these berries.
Okay. 14.
14? Yeah, he's not super quiet. You can hear him pretty clearly coming from the woods behind you as you hear a massive force crushing twigs and sticks, and you look behind and you see coming out of the woods, still quite a ways behind you, another large bear. You can assume to be the papa.
How far away is he?
He's about 150 feet in the woods as he's emerging from the line. You're kind of right in front of the cave entrance.
She's gonna book it back to, like, where Sherrilyn was. Yeah, I'm not fucking with this. I'm not getting a pincer attack by two bear parents.
Yeah, you see her fastening the rope into a lasso, and she starts to hear a dum 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 behind her, and she turns that direction.
This bear is much bigger.
Inara runs to Sherrilyn. Where are you?
Exactly where you left her, right in front of the cave, standing next to her horse.
You stayed in front of the cave? I thought we all went to get berries.
No.
Oh, then she's gonna come grab your ass and be like, we have to leave. The rest of the family is here.
Oh,
now.
well, you're trying to drag her away. Instead, she's gonna change and grip your arm, and she's gonna climb up on the horse and have you up behind her.
Better plan.
And Plato, I should say, I imagine you kind of stored your horse before you...
Yes, I've brought it with me. It's drinking if we have an uneasy alliance. But I'm afraid it is going to run away, so I am like, now that I'm out of the water, I have a hand on it, probably.
Yeah.
How much time do they have before this charging bear would be upon them?
Enough time to get away. Not much time to do something else. But maybe. What would you like to try and do?
Try and cast out the lasso as they're riding away.
I'll allow it. I'll definitely allow it. Sleight of hand check. It's going to be a ridiculously high DC, but you see the only thing that you can get close enough to is kind of the outline of what you seem to be like this leather bag that's kind of hidden among this other foliage and bones.
My modifier is a 0, so
Damn
let's
it,
see.
I can try. If you
Telling you right now, we need a nat 20 on this one.
No, it's a 9.
Aw.
If Inara's giving help, I'll let you take advantage, but the only way this is going to work is if it's a nat 20.
I mean, yeah, if she's lassoing, then Inara will at least reach for the reins and try to help control the horse so she could try doing this.
No, it's a 7.
So
Thank
sorry.
you for trying.
But you get a clear view as the lasso kind of catches around part of it. As you turn, the leather bag kind of turns to face, and you realize it is a corpse that is wearing leather armor. Kind of a leather chest piece and like a nice leather bracer as well. As you turn it, and you no longer see the material of the leather, but rather a full corpse that you're beginning to draw out of the
We
cave
could have
as the
had a
skeletal
cadaver.
arm.
There's something to learn from this. Why did they eat it?
She reaches down the length of rope that she casts out to kind of pull it back so that it doesn't trip the horse.
The armor looks nice. As you eye it over, just about to take off, you see the other bear. The armor looks really nice as the other bear is beginning to close in on the cave entryway. What do you do?
Well, maybe just as well we couldn't catch it then. She'd say, looping it around her forearm, and instead she would take herself and Inara on horseback to the general location she assumes Plato and Francis to be.
Absolutely. As you begin hooking around, you hear a large bear yell, kind of as it is smelling its own den. Right as you finish going around the hill to this kind of cascading, elevated series of hot springs that seems to be occurring here.
As we approach the hot springs, Inara will lead close to Sherrilyn and be like, can we not tell them that we tried the lasso and failed? Can we just say the father showed up and so we abandoned the plan?
She smirks over her shoulder and says, I think we tell them that your berry plan went excellently, and we just took that as an opportunity to leave peacefully.
Inara perks up at that idea and goes, I love it.
Plato is like he's bright red from the water, and he's putting his pants back on when they come back up on the horse.
Francis still has his feet dipped in.
I like look at them expectantly.
Yeah, she pulls the horse to a halt. The rope is still intact around her arm. The two of them and the horse now are unharmed. Dried blood from before, but they are unharmed. And she pulls to a halt beside you, seeing you tepidly testing this water.
Yes, I'm getting dressed back up. It's not good for bathing.
I see. Well, the berry plan went swimmingly.
Yes, definitely right. That's why you have all the stuff with you.
Simply not worth taking along.
You're kidding. Yeah? Okay.
Not kidding. Not kidding. It was attached to a dead person, in fact.
That's wow, who could have thought?
Are you in the spring?
No, I'm out
No.
of it. It was too hot.
She pushes you in. Inara's like very irked by the constant sarcasm, and when you made that last comment about who would have thought, she just immediately, no warning, pushes you in.
You can resist if you would like to.
I mean, I will try to not get pushed into the water.
Yeah, it's going to be a athletics or acrobatics check from Plato and a strength check from Inara.
Yeah, I'd like to help Inara
Oh.
by adjusting the angle of the horse so the butt just swings in that direction. The inertia hopefully is strong enough.
Francis, would you like to help Plato try to stay sturdy?
Yeah, no. Francis is like halfway, like getting his feet out, and he sees just this cascading motion of Inara trying to push Plato in, and Harkin's like rear end just shoving into him, and he's going to like brace like Plato's back with both of his hands.
Zing, so both of you can take advantage.
We both have advantage. I think so. Okay.
You're both getting the help action.
Nice.
Lord.
That first one was a crit fail. Okay. Strength check. I am not strong. That's a -1, so 14.
17. I remain on the edge.
Woo!
I fall
Makes
back.
sense.
I go to. I'm very clearly going to fall because my first one was a 6, and then Francis catches me.
Francis will just look up at Inara and Sherrilyn and just like give him like this like smirk side eye and be like, we already escaped the bear. Let's not make this any harder on ourselves.
Yes, whatever you learned, I'm sure it was worth the time.
Inara makes this little and just turns around and walks away.
Wait, you're on the horse.
Right, sorry. I thought I got off.
She'll help you. She'll help you. She'll orient the horse so that you're directly behind her. No one can see you pouting.
Yeah. Francis would like just look at Plato and then be like, you have to watch your tone sometimes. You're gonna get yourself hurt from someone not trying to kill us.
I feel that. Fine. It's fine. That's fine. That's all right. That's fine. You're right.
Good lad. And Francis will slap him on the back.
Push him into the pool. No, I'm just kidding. All right,
Tiny
awesome.
falls in.
No, just a friendly slap on the back that is clearly red.
As you're pushing him around, he is so easy to push around. He has a -1 to his strength as well, so it's like he's just sort of ragdolling between these people. He's happy to be on his feet.
Oh, it's a good thing I have a +2. Anyway.
So we find ourselves not too deep in the forest on the southern border of Medea. The party is now all regrouped kind of behind this massive hill housing this bear cave on this series of tiered hot springs. As it is about 11, almost midday, as the sun is in the sky, barely any clouds mark the day, as it is a good day for travel, as you all find yourself regrouped. The excitement of the bear chase kind of given way as both yourselves and Harkin the horse take deep breaths next to this hot spring.
So now I am staying a little further away on the lip of the hot spring so I can keep an eye on Inara, who tried to push me in.
She looks at Sherrilyn and points very, pointedly at her. She's looking at her. She's like, before we take on this extremely dangerous journey, I feel like you could benefit from a little lesson about flora and fauna of the world outside of Medea, considering you are the potentially strongest of us.
She squares her shoulders back and raises her chin a little bit. Thank you, my lady. And is this about the bear incident? She called it a bear, yes?
Yes, we did call it a bear. We don't fuck with bears or anything in that general size with pointy claws.
Noted. I will make sure there are no pointed claws on any creature that we stumble upon before I encounter them directly in the future. Thank you.
It also usually is a good rule of thumb that if something is bigger than you, you tend not to go towards it.
Has this served you in the past?
It has, actually.
Absolutely. This will get you through a lot of trouble in the desert if you just steer clear of anything that looks bigger and meaner than you.
Discretion is often better than aggression.
But it will garner you no honor.
Yes, but honor can only keep you alive for so long.
Yeah, Inara at the same time says, what would honor do for you if you're dead?
I suppose that is a fair point. But someone has to stand up for the weak.
You all hear some unfamiliar bird sounds. Sounds like kind of nasal honking coming from due north of your current position. Like, I can't do the noise, but I'll put the noise in here.
Like a goose?
Kind of.
A nasal?
Canadian geese, that's what I'm imagining.
God.
Oh,
The most vicious animal of all.
it sounds like nasal honking to grunting
Okay.
or growling.
Got
Very noisy.
Coming from above?
Yeah, you said
No.
bird sounds, so okay.
Not from above necessarily. Kind of from like north of your position through the woods a little
Okay.
bit. That's all. They just start interrupting the sound.
Did we want to get on our way? I know we sent the message to Nori, but we decided it would be quickest to go down and around the mountain range, correct? If we wanted to get to Netter's Valley.
Did we agree on Netter's Valley?
No, I don't believe we didn't.
I believe the
Okay, well, this is interesting.
consensus was to send a message to...
We've sent messages to Netter's Valley and to Luxoria.
To Nori and brag, not. But yes.
Yes, Waterman, we know. You sent a message to your sister. I sent a message to the High Vizier. Now, Lady Sherrilyn here, Sarah Sherrilyn, I apologize,
Thank you.
has a mission of sorts, and she looks at you realizing she still has no fucking idea why you changed your mind. She's just supporting you, being with you on the horse.
Of the utmost importance, yes.
To you or to the rest of the continent?
I would hardly say it was to me, but to my nation? Perhaps. You might say.
Your nation seems to be complicit in this thing that happened. I don't understand how we are, taking that into consideration. Nettes Valley was the closest. It was the one we knew was a target.
I believe you're generalizing the whole of my people of my nation,
Well,
Mr. Ardavian.
regardless, we don't know where the blood seal is in Medea. Plus, we'd have to go through this forest, which, as you've mentioned, is awful.
This has nothing to do with the blood seal.
All right.
Then what is it?
Also, should I mention Plato that she does not wish to return to Medea?
All right, so this is a different thing. Have you guys been... It feels very collusional, this energy.
I feel like we missed something while they were trying to get the corpse.
Yes, did that bear inspire...
Okay, this has nothing to do with the bear in question.
Yes, bear.
I understand that my intentions are unclear, so perhaps I should spend a moment to clarify. She takes a second before she says anything, though, and tilts her head to the side, listening to this strange honking sound. Is it drawing nearer?
Yeah, it's staying the same. Is there a way for me to stream? There must be a way for me to stream audio content.
Dream a terrible honk?
Share.
Dream
Yeah,
dog.
I mean, it's important.
Honk is important.
It's very
That's why to
important.
honk, is that it?
I need my noble ambition dice.
Goose Simulator?
Terrible. Sound like they are feasting on something. I want to get away.
They sound like they're laughing.
Is that a gaggle
Could I roll
of some fey
nature?
creature?
Is there any way I've encountered this? Can I try and recognize it?
Can we look back? Oh yeah, we can look back. Okay.
Yeah, you can look again. I'm gonna say, Plato, the noises sound familiar to other birds you've heard. The other flora and fauna that you've seen here is unique to this area. So you'd think you probably haven't seen this specific type of bird before. I'm not even going to call for a roll because they're just not in your knowledge base.
Like, as much as I can guess at it, I'm already guessing at it.
Yeah.
Did you answer my question? Were they drawing nearer?
No, they're staying where they are. It's just not gone away. It's very much constant while you guys are talking, and it will be in...
I hate it.
She takes a moment to listen to this horrible racket happening nearby, then takes a deep sigh. All right. And this will, forewarning, this will sound absolutely ridiculous. So just, if you could just bear with me for a few moments.
Please humor us with what we've already gone through.
Plato is keeping his mouth shut.
You see the horse butt angling in your direction.
I've purposely kept a distance.
I feel like Francis in front of Plato on the horse.
I had this, experienced this vision whilst we were staying at the temple overnight. And in this vision, this moment of enlightenment, whichever God has chosen to bestow upon me, she will not say, I saw a person very precious to both me and my nation, alive, in a location that appeared to be somewhere in Luxoria. And now I must return her and deliver her unto safety. 'Tis my sworn duty.
All right. I understand this, so I will pose a few questions. Now, there are some of our loved ones headed towards places like Nettes Valley. For instance, I believe the cart that was loaded up in that direction, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, Inara had your mother on it?
Did they say the carts were headed to Nettes Valley?
The one that headed in that direction your mother was loaded onto.
Okay.
I believe also Princess Lian Min was on that cart.
I do believe she was on that one, kicking and screaming.
So that is unfortunately our two loved ones to your one, if you must do the math as such. The second thing is, I saw you at the outpost, the Temple of the Lost. If you want us to invest in this journey, explain to me what it has to do with the Oracle. I don't know if it is the current one or the previous one, but I saw you with her outfit.
She she reaches back and you see her kind of stuff the white cloth further into the saddlebag. It was sticking out a moment ago.
Ah, yes.
Firstly, Mr. Ardavian, I believe we just came to the conclusion that we are not playing teams here, and that we are all on one side. And so I will go into this conversation with the attitude of agreeableness, and I ask that you do the same.
He nods.
Secondly, if you must know about the Oracle, what I will divulge to you is that this person was the previous Oracle before Sabina, and she was sent away on unjust terms and must be returned.
Sent away and very precious to you. Plato narrows his eyes at Sherrilyn, and then sort of looking at her says, Sir Astolda, are you a romantic?
She clears her throat and turns her face away from him. You might say that. But this is not about my feelings. This is about duty.
Of course, yes. Those two things very separate, I'm sure. Well, as mentioned, with the message off to Breg, we would have to go down south through Luxoria to get around the mountains up to Netta's Valley anyway, so I say we compromise. We see if you can pick up the trail, and we also go around to Netta's Valley.
And as far as Lady Inara's family, whom we might discover upon traveling a little further into the desert.
Well, most of my family came with me. There are people that can help us in Luxoria. However, she turns back to Sherrilyn. I was totally on board with your idea, but somewhere in the lands of Luxoria is a very vague description.
Well, perhaps if I describe it to you.
The desert? She says with both eyebrows raised.
She waves away her assumptions with one hand. I understand. It sounds ridiculous, but I caught a glimpse of it from an aerial view. If I could just tell you what I saw. Perhaps, Robbie, how would Sherrilyn describe what she saw from the hawk's point of view in the vision?
Yeah, it was just desert. There was absolutely zero signifying markers or the one thing that you could share back from your vision, thinking on it, like it was you like refocus on you look for landmarks and all you see is shifting winds and sand as the only two figures in the vision that were clear or of note was of course the previous Oracle Diana. Was also this taller, red-skinned dragonborn man who bears the symbols of the Temple of the Lost. But there was no, looking through it, it was just sand dunes. There was no other further descriptor of the land itself.
Love it if she starts to just describe just a random cactus as
yeah. So she tries her best to recall the vision in as much detail as possible, thinking to the exact moment as the hawk passed over Diana in the middle of the desert, and she starts to describe it as in detail as she can, but all that really comes out is, well, there was a lot of sand, and dunes, and the wind was tossing it in clouds, and there was this dragonborn there, red of skin, accompanying her, and there were these prickly green flora sprouting from the ground. I've never seen anything like them.
Inara interrupts you and goes, Cactus?
Cactus.
Are these rare?
Unfortunately, not particularly. They are the equivalent of, and she points to just grass.
Yeah, you can see visible disappointment on her face.
Unfortunately, everything you have mentioned, clouds, sky, sand, wind, generally describes my whole country, which is known to be quite vast. However, I would take comfort in the fact that she was being led, I'm assuming, not imprisoned by this dragonborn man. I would trust no one more than the tribe members of the nomads with someone I cared about traveling through the desert.
But as you previously mentioned, you were as of now, quite unfamiliar with them.
Who is she referring to? The Dragonborn?
Inara, you had mentioned that you didn't know the dragons, so she's making an assumption that you don't know the Dragonborn very well.
Okay. We're going to have to go over a lot of lessons on our trip, clearly. But the Dragonborn tribes are very well known to all citizens of Luxoria. They are the original inhabitants. And while they may be descendant from dragons, they are not directly related as of this current time.
She's nodding along.
And so knowing one does not affect knowing the other.
Yes, Plato has taken out a notebook. He's taking small notes. So I do have a question about that. At the feast, didn't one of them turn into, I believe it was a dragon? So what was that about? Oh, or is it rude to ask?
Well, not necessarily rude, just I cannot answer that question. Not very many people are privy to the Emir's deepest secrets. He is the head of our country. I am not someone.
Plato takes another note. We should get on the move. I agree. We can head towards Luxoria. We can see if we can pick up the trail of your long-lost love, and then we can go back around and up towards Netta's Valley if that works for you all. I think it is the best option for us to find one of the places. It is the closest. And listen, I am not giving up nothing here. Argradio was taken, as far as I can remember, towards Honhop. But that seems too far, and the jungle's too dangerous. This is, I believe, our best option.
Can you guarantee us help once we get there? We cannot take on these people on our own. Clearly, we are not well equipped.
The mayor was kidnapped, so they will be angry, they will be up in arms, and I have certain, he sort of pauses for a moment, I have certain networks I can activate once we find somewhere a little more populated, and Netta's Valley is a great base for that.
Well, that is very ominous.
Actually, that sounds quite interesting. I trust in the High Vizier's ability to respond to the message I sent him with the appropriate action. I also believe and she turns to look to Sherrilyn, I apologize, but we do have a better chance of surviving a trip to Nether's Valley than surviving the deserts as we are. She looks to Plato, without supplies.
I don't know why you're looking at me.
She rolls her eyes. She's turning her horse, like getting ready to leave in the direction that they came. And she says, so what do you suggest then? Because I thought we had a compromise, which I am willing to uphold.
If we head south towards Luxoria, we see if we can pick up the trail of where your ex-oracle...
The oracle.
Yeah, the oracle, yes. Crossed into Luxoria. Perhaps pick up a trail or learn of her well-being. And then we have to take on the very serious matter of the mass murder that took place and the ritual that is no doubt underway.
Fine. A compromise.
Agreed.
Do you need a lift onto your horse, or?
Actually, reaches his hand over Francis's shoulder, since Francis has positioned himself between them on the horse and Plato for safety reasons, to shake Sherrilyn's hand.
She looks down at your hand with great hesitation, will reach out her hand and grasp, not your hand, she'll grasp your forearm for a firm shake.
Yes, I have notably shook with the arm that is not water, calling it the meat arm still. We have an accord.
When Inara sees you grabbing his forearm, she cocks her head to the side. Is that a Medean thing?
I suppose it could be. Is respectful. Brothered arms.
Interesting.
Very, very noble of you.
Yes, I take my hand back. So, can this horse manage Francis and I, or what is?
I was going to say, quick reminder, what happened to the second horse?
We recovered it. I got off of it, but it is here with us. It was drinking from the water.
The hot water?
Yeah, you see it go over there, and it sticks its tongue in and then pulls it out, and then a couple seconds later is maybe it's cooled off, and then it kind of is repeating that process. It does seem a little thirsty.
Maybe we should help the horse. Francis, are you familiar with horse riding?
Horses particular, no, but riding on animal back is not unknown to me.
goodness, then perhaps you should take the reins. Sir thought.
We have done well so far, I think.
Yes, given his wonderful aptitude of finding creatures on horseback, I think it'll be a good idea if I take the reins.
A bear magnet. Yes.
Yeah, at least I know what to do when there's a bear there. But look, we shook hands.
That's a vicious reimagining of what happened there.
Yes. Leave it to a Medean. No, I scoot back on the horse and I give Francis some space to take the reins.
It never stopped.
Pardon me. I've been called the Perian for like days. It seems like I can whatever.
As the horses begin moving, she looks over her shoulder at him and says, "Would you prefer we return to such titles?"
No, come on. We're fine. Let's head south. We shook hands already.
Come on, we're losing daylight.
She's smirking. It's all in good fun to her.
So from your current position, due west would get you out of the forest.
Due west.
Wait, it would be, yeah, because you're already pretty south.
So I think we wanted to skirt the city of the ancients, the valley of the ancients, as best we could, and head south.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to avoid them completely just because they do occupy like that central space. So you can definitely like go like hug the mountainside, definitely more so than walk through the
main city.
Yeah, sort of going down in this direction here. I think that is what we are trying to do, yes.
Perhaps they will offer us shade from the hotness of the sun.
Inara cackles just a little bit. Sure. Yeah. That's what the desert's known for. Shade.
You have a great dread in me, Inara.
This is going to be so much fun, she says. As she starts like rooting through her bag, looking for the potions to identify one of the others.
And while I greatly appreciate your high energy and optimism, perhaps when revoking sarcasm in terms of a dangerous environment, maybe you should take it a little more serious for those not from there.
I can comprehend sarcasm.
I'm sure you can, sir.
I'm an expert at it.
Inara turns to Francis and goes, "There are 4 of us against a cult. We are headed to a desert with 2 horses and 5 days of rations. If you want me to be serious, we're all going to die."
That is not what I wanted to hear.
I feel like you mistook serious with pessimism.
"I call it like I see it," she says, and shrugs her shoulders like it's no big deal.
Well, you are... She, like, leans back and kind of gestures indiscriminately at Inara. You have fur? Surely the horses will be fine.
All right.
Inara's like giving you just a death stare, like she genuinely had no idea what you meant by that. Like, she's like, "Okay."
I lean up towards Francis on the horse and I say, "Is that doing it again?"
And this is why we're riding together.
We're leaving the squawking bird sounds and headed towards out of the forest.
Oh, right. The birds were still making the noise.
Fuck them birds.
That's gonna be laid over all of this, don't you worry.
I do not want to go towards the birds. The last animal we met in here was awful.
It was another golden owl that was cursing Sherrilyn.
Inara turns to all 3 of you and be like, "Do any of you recognize that call?"
There are many birds in the jungle, and that is not one of them.
Well, my estate was near the woods, but not in them.
Generally, going towards unknown sounds in the wild does lead to unfavorable encounters.
Our first desert lesson.
Ergo, we should go the other way.
Yeah, she turns to Sherrilyn.
And we are not even in the desert.
We are trotting south now, I believe. Yes, away from the noise. We have to get a move on.
Sounds good. Yeah. You all head out of the forest. Who's taking the lead here?
I suppose...
I suppose like Sherrilyn and Inara would just
Yeah.
we're going into the
and
desert.
Sherrilyn's leading Harkin, so technically she's taking the lead.
Yeah.
So Sherrilyn and Inara on Harkin, and then following we have Francis and Plato on unnamed horse.
Oh, we should name him.
Yes, what have you named your steed?
Francis will look back at Plato.
Why are you looking at me?
This is the horse you rode off on.
You sat upon him first.
We can name him. I don't know. What kind of bear was it? We can name him Grizzly.
You want to name the horse after the thing that tried to kill us.
Well, it is the most memorable thing about the horse right now.
I mean, it did survive a grizzly bear attack, which not a lot of horses can, say.
Yeah.
So,
He's a good and obedient boy. So, we should be gentle on them, right, as we go into the desert.
Pardon me, Mr. Ardavian, but I believe that horse is a woman.
Whoops. Well, you told me not to get near the rear end of them.
Well, Sherrilyn, taking the lead here, will you go ahead and roll me a survival check as you
Yes, I
navigate these kind of denser forest thickets with two horses?
Will Inara be assisting me?
Pointing the direction towards her territory.
No, are you assisting? What are you up to on the back of the horse?
she's identifying the potions. So
Okay,
she's
yeah. So no, she's not.
distracted. She's absolutely distracted. Unless you specifically ask her repeatedly to look up, she's not gonna.
11.
11? Yeah. It doesn't take long for you all to. It's just 25 minutes or so to kind of clear through the thicket, and then very clearly see the forest line begin to thin out into a wave of dead trees, and kind of navigate towards the most eastern part of the Valley of the Ancients to kind of try and skirt by to the best of your ability here. Nara, as you take this time to look over the potions, you guys don't seem to encounter any dangers, just wildlife. You do get a sight of one of those birds, as there seems to be a small grouping among a pond. You see there, you hear the noises again as you just kind of crest a corner, and you see a small grouping, about 3 or 4 of them. They're very tall. They don't really seem to have wings. They have really long orange legs, and they are a beautiful, almost neon shade of blue.
So, like, blue flightless flamingos?
Yeah, that would be very accurate, but none of you know what that last word is.
I'm just trying to get an image in my head.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
that size? Okay.
The picture just sent. It is a blue flamingo, absolutely. As their long, kind of crook necks seem to be going into this volcanic pool and snatching.
Holy shit, is this real?
Yeah, there's really blue flamingos. That's what I was googling when I was like blue, and yeah, if they eat blue shrimp.
Flamingos can be any color. It's just depending on what they eat.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah.
blue shrimp here. So you all see this kind of small flock of these long-necked birds curling their heads into the water and fetching out these small prey as you pass by, making your way out of the forest. And Nara, as you investigate these flasks, are you using the spell Identify?
Yes.
The first potion that you pick up looks very similar to the Supreme Potion of Healing. It's the same kind of amber color. However, when you look at it closer, suspended in the amber liquid are 4 ingredients, kind of hovering right in the middle of the liquid. And the liquid itself can be moved around, like with your hand as you move it, but the ingredients themselves stay perfectly still in the center. They are a scorpion's tail, an adder's fang, a dead spider, and a tiny heart that you see still beating in the center of the flask. As you cast Identify, you come to understand that this potion is a very rare potion, and it is a potion of longevity. When somebody drinks this potion, their physical age is reduced by a certain amount of years, minimum of around 13, and it de-ages somebody completely to drink it.
Once she realizes what it is, Inara will like hold it very gingerly with like her thumb and forefinger and be like, "Ooh, don't want to mess with that." Realizing that if she were to accidentally try this on herself, she would return to a kitten.
Perhaps you should hold it over your lap whilst we are in motion, Lady Inara.
She's going to very safely and gently place it back in her like satchel and say, "I'm sure a use for this will come up." And then she'll turn to the third and last potion.
The third potion, as you hold it in your hand, you recognize it right away. It's just a basic potion of healing.
Perfect. Well, this we'll definitely need. How is everyone looking, by the way, now that we're done with the bear encounter?
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I said Sherrilyn was scratched on the upper arm, like shoulder area. Is that what I said? I think so. She's since tied off some cloth, probably from a spare shirt or something, around where she had been injured, but you can see that the cloth is still red, not brown. As in, she still looks like she's quite injured.
Actively bleeding?
Yeah, not like
Okay.
gushing blood, but you
Sure.
can tell it's still hurting. Yeah.
Okay. And Harkin's okay?
Yes, he has a bit of a stalling in his steps. You know, every time he puts his front left foot down, there's kind of a jittering as it settles flat, but he's all right.
Awesome. You all take to the edge of the forest, and very quickly, as you hear the horse's feet just change from breaking twigs and shrubbery to again the ashen, barren earth that makes the Valley of the Ancients. As you all take to the center area, you see in the daylight, you guys just navigated this area, and at nighttime it was kind of hard because the moonlight did not penetrate. It was scary. It was filled with the unknown. But in daytime, this area is much more like an architectural dig site. There isn't visibly any threats, and passing through, it's like walking through a part of history, right? That isn't known or recorded. It's a much different vibe during the daylight, to be sure. As you all kind of, with ease, pass through the very sturdy flatlands of the Valley of the Ancients. The horses, after a little while, getting a little bit thirsty, needing to take a stop. It's about 3 p.m. at this point of day as you all gather. You all pull to the side. You're going to have to hand feed the horses. There's definitely no growing water.
Somewhere in likeness to when they left, I think Sherrilyn would wait until there was some form of cover, like a fallen piece of architecture or something in this pretty barren area.
Roll me a perception check.
11.
Is anyone helping with that?
Sorry, what was it?
A perception check as you guys navigate for just a safe area for some cover to take a break.
Nice. 19.
19. As you all pass back through the Valley of the Ancients, passing through that kind of concrete and still established area with less destroyed buildings, you make your way past the pavilion, to the more southern edge. And you see the structures here are largely destroyed, but there's some large walls you could kind of get over or hide behind. However, there is this one small dome structure that looks like it used to be part of a very, very large tower. But the entire top of it has been completely destroyed and cut off. So just kind of forming this cylindrical, half shape, like a melted candle look in the distance. And you see smoke rising out of that tower, this kind of sealed area. No immediate door visible from your side, but there's definitely signs of life coming from this area as you look for a spot among the ruins.
As soon as she notices the smoke, Inara will pull at Sherrilyn's arm and point towards the smoke and be like, someone's still here.
She slows the horse down and looks in the direction of the smoke. Would you like me to investigate first?
Perhaps I should go.
Wait, what are we doing? Francis pulls the horse over.
Yep, and Francis will kind of rear Grizzly around and now to facing head on with Harkin and Sherrilyn. Being you should. Now's the time to stop and see who is in this place where we just escaped from.
The horses need to rest, or they will be ineffective once we reach the desert.
I don't think we should go ahead and start making new friends in a known hostile area.
No one said anything about making friends. We just need to make sure it's not a threat to us while we rest. But also, what if it's someone else who escapes and need help?
There's a possibility, I suppose, that someone else survives the feast. There's equal possibilities that they left a sentry behind. If you go, then I think you should sneak or stealth as best you can.
Sherrilyn's dismounting already, and she'll help Inara off of the very tall horse. And as she does, she takes Harkin's reins and ties them to the reins of Plato and Francis's horse. There. That way, they will not be scared off.
There's a chill that hits the air at this point. The forest itself, mostly because of the volcanic air, was much warmer than the space that you're in now. And it kind of, in this exact moment, you all feel it as it kind of takes over. It's much cooler here.
Plato looks over at Inara, remembering that, if I'm remembering correctly, when your sisters, so I understand if you want to
She tries really hard to control her like expression, and she actually does really well because her mom has made sure that all of her daughters can control their emotions. But you do see a very small flicker of like sadness, and she smiles at you. Wait, are you still on your horse?
I was going to say, as soon as he sees the sadness, Plato looks away and gets off his horse.
Okay.
Is this, you said this tower is not completely concealed. How far are we exactly, like numerically, from the tower?
You spot it while you're approaching. It's on the real southern edges of the Valley of the Ancients facing Luxoria, so it could easily be in your path. It's probably about 400, 500 feet away at this point as you slow the horses.
Okay. I suppose then, before approaching this tower, she would go into the saddlebags and find the water so that she could bottle feed her war horse.
Lots of horses.
Yes. Find some, well, not a ration, but I'm assuming she probably has like hay or something that she'd stuffed in there from when they were in the pond area.
I mean, there were apples.
Apples, yes, that's right, the fruit. Feed and water the horses before we get any closer. She'd say, as we draw nearer to the tower, whether we choose to stop or pass it by, I might be able to detect if there is a person inside without us entering.
That would be helpful.
Useful trick.
In game terms, Sherrilyn is offering to use a charge of divine sense when they get within range of the tower.
The interaction with the bear has left me not with the largest reserves of magical energy, so it would be best not to engage if it comes down to it.
Inara will also turn to Sherrilyn and hand her the regular healing potion that we took in case her wound is still bothering her, and say, if you don't need it, I'm sure the horse will.
Out of character, the horse is full HP because you guys cast so much magic on the horse.
Did we? Awesome.
Yeah, the horse is okay. Sherrilyn is missing some health, so I think she looks very surprised when you offer her this potion. Like, she isn't offered the comfort very often. So she gingerly plucks it from your hand and gives you this look.
Yeah, Inara looks back at you confused and be like, is it not customary for people to help you when you are protecting them?
Well, at the risk of not sounding as humble as I would prefer, I'm not often in a situation where I would require such assistance.
Well, I mean, that's great for you, but since we are all dependent on each other, I would hope that you would trust a helping hand from one of us from time to time.
See a warm little smile tug at her lips as she uses her thumb to uncork the potion and tips it back in front of her, full faith that this is actually a healing potion and not something else.
Inara does a little like happy clap and like skips away.
Right. Are we investigating the smoke?
And once the horses are taken care of,
Investigating the smoke.
or are we leaving the horses behind and going on foot? You said 500 feet?
Did we want to tie them
500
when we
feet.
got closer? Or...
Yeah.
Yes, depending on if there is actually anything to tether them to, she would go ahead and tie the reins of both horses together with the assumption that Harkin doesn't get as scared as a wild horse probably would.
Yeah, there's definitely some rubble that kind of has like a bar to it that you could tie it around. That seems very sturdy. This rock is incredibly sturdy.
Perfect.
You guys are about 150 feet away from the tower. You see at this angle now, whatever entrance this place has must be facing Luxoria, as from your angle coming from the north here, you do not see any direct entrance.
The potion that you gave to Sherrilyn was perfectly enough to get her back to maximum HP. So as she drinks that and you
Beautiful.
continue on your journey towards the tower, you see that while they were still in motion, she would reach under her breastplate, like between her breastplate and her pauldron, and she would untie the cloth that she had there and pull it off, and the wound is completely gone.
How high is the tower? Now that we're getting closer to it, is it a structure that, like, Inara could potentially climb up the side?
Yeah, probably. It used to stand much taller than it is now, and it's incredibly sturdy, but it's not necessarily too high, probably about 40 feet or so. But you can see it's a massive base for a piece that must have been much bigger that there is no sign of nearby.
Get close enough. Are we within 60 feet of the tower?
Yeah.
Okay, then Sherrilyn will use her divine sense, which this is kind of her first real occasion, I think, using this sense. I think she would tap into the feeling that she had during the vision the previous night, kind of reaching through the earth with her senses to discover what was in there, if anything, that celestials, fiends, are undead, and if it's consecrated or not.
The earth beneath your feet is deconsecrated. It is unholy in nature. As you feel your presence try to penetrate through it, it's like it's fighting back. Like your aura is quicksand being lost in the dead earth beneath you. But you regain control of it as it extends through the tower's space, and nothing returns. The only thing you pick up is the ground beneath your feet.
Well, if there is anything, any person inside of this tower, then they are not anything otherworldly, as far as I'm concerned.
We do not know if they are friendly, if there is something in there.
And therein lies the question.
Well, we should not reveal ourselves in force if someone wants to go around, or if we can loop around in front of it to try and get a better view, I suppose.
Inara will start to stretch her arms out and, like, crack her thumbs and knuckles and be like, I think I can make it, looking up at the top of the, like, the open top of the tower.
You are going to climb.
Yeah. And then she just takes off. She
Oh.
doesn't.
There
Seems
she
very
goes.
high up.
The stone itself is very smooth, but with your claws and ability, you're able to get a hold here. Give me an athletics or acrobatics check, your choice, as you try to scale the 40 feet.
Oh, let's go with acrobatics.
Are you sure we should just let her do this?
Yeah, how far from the bottom of the tower
She's
are we?
doing it.
You're at you're at like the behind the tower right now.
We're
So
behind,
you
we're right
you
behind
need
it.
to walk around.
She goes to stop her, but she's already gone. So Sherrilyn follows her, and then she'll stand under where Inara is climbing, just assuming the worst could happen, and is ready to catch her if she falls.
Just behind Sherrilyn, just also looking up, ready to catch her in case she falls.
That was an unnatural 20.
Yeah, no issues whatsoever. As you, like a cat, scramble up the side of this thing, unnatural against the smooth stone, you're still able to find purchase as you're able to kind of hold your arms over the top of it and pull up and get a good look at what's inside. Are you doing this stealthily when you get to the top? Roll me a stealth check.
Plato is just looking up at her.
Ooh, 23.
Yeah, you're able to very quietly. Do you stand right on the top of this like broken? Do you sit like cat style to get a good view of what's inside?
She perches very, very much like a cat, crouched down, with her ears turned towards the whatever's going on in there.
Do you see there's a spit set directly in the center of the base of this tower? None of the tower remains. It is a cleared space with just the dead earth at the center. There's a large archway at the front of the building that allows entryway. On the spit is a large scorpion currently being turned around. Operating the spit is a decently tall man, quite dirty, wearing the clothes of nobility. I would say his skin tone and posture would immediately betray him as a Perian. But the figure that immediately catches your attention, wrapped in blankets, sweating, catatonic against the wall, is Leilani, your older sister.
Thank you for listening to The Lands That Make Us. Theme music composed and produced by Dustin Goddard. Cover art by Julia Falkart. You can discover more of Julia's art on her Instagram linked in the show notes. Share our adventure with your party, and we'll see you next time.